Welcome back to the Unleashed. I'm your host, Jared Wheeler. Been trying to make this video all week, and circumstances have prevented it, but finally I got some calm down time here, and I just kind of wanted to talk about all the events playing out and what we're looking at right now. So anyways, here we go. Savan 2nd, which is what I was told last year, which equated to May 13th. It's most definitely this year, and we're watching and waiting. And interesting enough, as the year progressed, and I just kept watching, you know, how long would it be a Rosh Hashanah timeline, you know, before that year was up? Would it be our Gregorian calendar? Would it be April 2nd this year? Would it be a full year back to May 13th? Then we find out the Savan 2nd rolls into June 1st. Okay, and it's progressed. And I had no idea, you know, when I told it, I shared it after a week of praying about it, asking God, you know, for confirmation, if it's sure and everything like that, you know. And so I did all that stuff, you know. I was open about it, the whole conversation, you know, and what I was told and everything. And it's very exciting because I'd never been told anything like that, only soon, almost time, and such like that, you know. Not most definitely this year. And sooner than you think, right? Along with many other things that were in the conversation, because we talked for about an hour or so, right? Which was so incredible that I had to go over and ask God for a confirmation, which I did on the spot, and I shared with you guys. And, you know, so I went through everything that I could. Then I prayed about it over and over. I told him it was a really big deal. And I'm like, you know, to say something like that, it's most definitely this year. It's very hopeful and everything, but, you know, if I'm going to share it, I'm going to need a confirmation. So I prayed about it and everything else. And during no time in this whole past year, and all the other conversations that I've had with him where he has spoken up and continued to put me through tests and different things like that, right? Never once have I heard in my spirit that time's not up, or that I misheard or anything like that. It's been the same. And then to back it up even more, my little brother that asked for the same confirmation after I told him about my event, went very specific, and just so you can't make the mistake of saying, oh, well, you know, it's still a rock or something like that, right? Even when it's under the piece of glass and in the same location that I asked for and everything on the spot. He asked for an arrowhead with the butt end broken off and it being red because he's never seen one before. And then within 10 minutes, he was told exactly where to go by God, walked out into the neighbor's gigantic field, and not seen any arrowheads around there or anything like that before, walks straight up to it and grabs it outright for his confirmation, okay? Absolutely incredible. Stuff like this doesn't happen, and for it to be within the same family, my family, right, it only adds to the significance of it. It's absolutely incredible. So it's had my attention the whole time, all right? Here's the tough part. All the different things that I can sense and I'm allowed to sense by God in the world, people's minds, people's hearts, looking into them, where they are, all this different stuff, the things that I can feel and know, I cannot sense the rapture, all right, because it does not exist. It will appear in a split second out of time, all right? There's nothing that I know the signs to look for. I share them, you know. You guys know that it's coming too because we can look for the signs. Enough people have shared it. We know that it's happening and stuff like that. But I cannot sense it because when it happens, he's going to split time. He's going to change it. What do I mean by this, all right? I mean, the elites have most likely, you guys know the Romanian Sphinx story, you know the tech they have, all right? There's a very good chance they've already looked forward in the future, all right, and seen that their plan goes into fruition. If they keep it up the same way they do, they're able to subdue the earth, turn it into AI, and make it miserable hell, right? Okay? They can see that. When the rapture happens, it's going to split that in half, change the whole paradigm, and time changes from that point going into the tribulation, okay? And they don't win, all right? It stands out of time, which is what God told me, all right? He's going to split it. So because of that, because it happens in a moment that only he knows about, because it's not actually here a tangible thing that exists within our timeline, it's him changing the whole thing, I cannot sense it, so I can't tell. So it could be tomorrow, and I would have no idea. It will catch me by surprise. Just like it did in the vision, I was caught by surprise. I'm like, oh, great, now this, looking at a UFO, right? Over the lake, and then boom, blast it out. So, I mean, that's all I know that it's close, right? So, another thing that I want to address. I've had many people say now over the time, how do you know that some high-level demon wasn't talking to you, right? First off, I've been walking with God long enough that when demons are talking and stuff like that, I just send it packing, and it's always negative. They're always lying and stuff like that. If a demon were to come along posing, okay, this is the stupidest thing ever, but if they were to have that happen, all right, to give hope, then the only thing that he's accomplished is me giving encouragement, telling you that you need to repent, all right? Of all the people that it could come to come to me, somebody who tells you, no, you have to repent of your sins, you have to walk a godly life, you have to do the right things, the opposite of the once saved, always saved, it's complete folly, okay? Which is the only outcome that's come from this. Hey, time's up, be encouraged, hang in there a little bit longer. Guess you have to repent, turn to God right now, which is the events that have happened from it. Another thing to look at this is I was immediately attacked. I've dealt with this stuff for a long time, and I know that when God's speaking to you or something amazing happens, the first thing that happens is the enemy swoops in, right, to try to attack. What's the first thing that happened? My older brother calls me up, denying that the rapture even exists. He sells out for money, right, for his new job and stuff like that. We get into a huge blowout fight, and we won't be talking again this side of heaven, right? And it's completely over, right? That was one of the first ones. And then shortly after that, Greg Jackson, guy that is a once saved, always saved car salesman, piece of crap, all right? This guy, like 5,000 followers, had every single follower attack me for weeks. Within minutes. I couldn't even text my little brother and talk to him without being attacked 3 or 4 times between text messages. You're worthless, you're a lying deceiver, all this other crap. Like, good grief. I'm telling you guys, the rapture's coming. What are you guys so pissed about, right? And they're supposedly looking for it too. It's just ridiculous. But anyways, attack after attack after attack, and then, of course, leading up to even more stuff that happened last year. Last year was a trial and a half, okay? And so is this year. It's been extremely difficult, all right? But that's the only thing that's happened since that time. So as far as I know, I'm still looking for this. I'm expecting it to happen. Do I know how he's going to play this out? No, I don't. Savon's second will be June 1st, okay? Coincidentally enough, this is also falling into the time period of June 4th, June 5th, all right? Pentecost. Pentecost is the one time since God told me in 2018 that Rosh Hashanah, Feast of Trumpets, was for the second coming. Okay, that's when it'll be fulfilled, right? Let's say the rapture were to happen sometime in the fall or whatever else. That's fine. That's completely fine. But Rosh Hashanah's fulfillment takes place in the same way that it did the first time. It won't be done, and then 7 years later, then Atonement and Tabernacles take place. Feast of Trumpets, Feast of Tabernacles, Feast of Atonement, in order, will all take place at the same time in the same year when we come back. That's what God told me in 2018 when he pulled me into that dimension that I've shared with you guys before. And a light was over my head, and as soon as the snowflake touched me on the shoulder, instantly that's what I was told, all right? And anyways, so I haven't really looked at that. So since that time, I've definitely heard and listened to the talk, heard the research on it and everything like that, the whole parallels with Pentecost and a type of rapture, of course, also that being in spring as well, and other things like that. Another interesting fact to come out just recently discovered is just like you watch Rosh Hashanah jump around on our calendar from year to year to year, because it does not follow the Gregorian calendar. The Jewish calendar leaps around from different months and different seasons that have to do with the moon and other things like that, right? So knowing that, right, May 13th or May 14th for Israel becoming a nation, turns out that in correlation with that, it wasn't May 14th this year, it's June 4th or 5th, okay? And it just happens to be the same time as Pentecost. So those that are looking for the maximum possibility, 73-year mark or just right before it or whatever else, for the rapture to happen, falling into this 70-80-year timeline, then that's coming up also around June 4th and 5th, or at Pentecost, the same time that we're looking at, okay? Very interesting. Was there a correlation between my time and my brother's time? June 14th, all right? That I don't know either. That's exactly like 31 days split when we had it happen, when he got his and when I was given mine, right, for confirmations. And considering they're both together, we're both family, it was both extremely powerful events took place for confirmation for the Lord's return. It very well could take place. It could mean something. It could mean a type of guardrail system, you know, of in between a time or something? I mean, I just don't know. I really don't. I don't know what it means. Shortly after, I'm walking through the woods. I've shared this with you guys before. I'm asking God, I'm like, okay, God, what the heck's going on? How soon are we talking about? Where are you? What's going on? What does this mean? All right, we're getting close to July, or maybe I was in July or something like that. I look over on a little tree, and growing into the tree is the number 10. All right, I watched it walk after walk after walk through the woods. And it was right when I asked him that. And I kept an eye on that for a long time. What does that mean? 10 days from now, the 10th month this year, December on the Jewish calendar. You know, the other time that could line up with is if it's going from the original civil calendar that the Jews used, and that would put in the month of Tammuz, which is after Sivan. So that would be a correlation of late June, July time period. Does that have something to do with it? I have no idea. I just don't. I don't know. As all I know is I'm watching and know that it's close, okay? How do we know that it's not years off, all right? I need to do this sometimes, and people need to hear this, okay? There's a reason why. A lot of people can't do this, where you lay everything out on the table, and it's something that I seem to be pretty good at, okay? The whole reason that I went out in the first place was all the correlating events that were pointing towards it, and I'm like, God, it's getting so close, and then he sent me on the mission, all right? And one of the biggest ones is the false prophet. The 112th Pope that we are at right now, and his age, and he being alive in Revelation 19 when he gets tossed in the lake of fire, okay? He's pushing up into the mid-80s, all right? And that means that he'll be in the 90s, all right? In the early to mid-90s, before the end of the tribulation, okay? And that's one of the things that really, really points out to, you know, he can't die first. So this has got to be taking place soon. Another thing to point out, all right, amongst the other things. I mean, there's so much stuff, all right? There's just so many things that have happened. I don't even need to name it all. We all know that it's about to happen, all right? But when? How far off is it, all right? There's plenty of people out there, all right, that have heard the inside scoop that they want to have Lucifer on the throne by 2025. I just heard another vision recently that somebody had a dream, and it was 2025. They could tell the rapture had already happened, and people were in entrainment camps, and they were pushing people around the U.S. into the different quadrants, you know, FEMA regions and stuff like that. All right, by 2025 as well. All right, that means total fall takeover. We're into this quite a ways, right? Into the tribulation and stuff like that by 2025. So how far off do we have? I just listened to a guy that, I can't think of the word, but looks at graphs and stuff like that, and he has for years, and the different wars and stuff we get in, and he's predicting by next year, you know, which is stuff has been extremely accurate, that we're going to be losing a quarter of the Earth's population, of course, all right, because of war and other things like that. Same thing we're looking at, because it all lines up with the Bible as well, right? We already know this, all right, but how soon is it? With the way that the economy is going, what they're expecting with food shortages that they're purposely doing, you know, this is all the stuff that happens actually in the tribulation. It's not one country taking place, it's all the countries of the world all happening at once. That is the tribulation, okay? When you see all those things happening, it's not just war, it's a world economic crash, them resetting the whole thing, them wanting to put in a digital currency system, them moving to the mark of the beast system, right? As well as pestilence that they're purposely doing, and other things like that, right? We know that, all right? We know they pulled the trigger with all right? That's already taken place, and there's no turning back on that. And you guys have got to listen to enough people and insiders and stuff like that have even come out of the system where it was built, that have said, hey, we're looking at 2 years' time and other things like that, you know, that before this stuff starts popping off. And I know that they got to do something here soon to block this. Look at World War III. Look at the stuff that's happening. Look how fast it's coming. Look what they're pushing for, it, right? They're literally pushing for World War III right now with nukes, and they're making all the, like I said, the proverbial courtroom. They're doing all the plans to make it look like this is how it took place. This is why it took place. And then afterwards, we can't ever have that happen again. We all need to come together, right? So we're looking at it. Do I think that the rapture this year? Absolutely. I think that it is. I think it's going to be sometime in June. I think it's going to be around Pentecost, right? That's my first opinion that comes to me. And that's all I can do, because I can't sense it, because it stands out of the timeline. It doesn't exist yet. It'll be created on the spot, all right? So for that reason, I just can't tell. I can only know that it's soon, and what the Lord tells me when He says it's soon, or just like the rest of you guys when He speaks to you and He says it's, it's time. It's time for it to happen. So be encouraged with that, But as for the exact day or anything like that, I just don't know. I just know that it's soon. Will it correlate to the time I had the vision? I had the vision in the last week of May or the first week of June back in 2014. That's interesting. That would correlate to it as well. Would it happen around the same time? Hey, there's a possibility. I don't know, though. I just don't know. I don't know how it's going to play out, how it's going to go down. Will it go into the summer? Is the rapture a summer event? Is it going to be a spring event? I don't know. All I know is that the tribulation starts in the fall, and that is because it goes for 7 full years. So when they start it, it ends at the same time, fulfilling the 3 feasts are at the end of the year, okay? But as for the rapture, it's its own event that can happen, and when it does, like I say, there's a lot of correlation in the Bible, speaking of a wedding and a lot of other stuff like that kind of point to it to being spring, and that's why I kind of lean towards that, and I think that Pentecost really represents that, and I have now for a while, definitely since 2018, when I was told, that the Feast of Trumpets is for the second coming, not the rapture, all right? And you're not going to hear this from everybody because they haven't been told that yet. They don't know. They're still looking at it, right? Like some of the people that originally looked at it. And when I first heard it, and knowing what was fulfilled, yeah, sure. I thought the same thing. I'm like, hey, that makes sense. That's the second one. And I kept asking about, praying about, there was one thing that just didn't set right. And then in 2018, the year that I had 3 major things happen to me, where He told me He folded time out from the middle, flat earthers were under a curse, and Feast of Trumpets was for the second coming, all right? And when He told me that stuff, it was amazing. But I've held on to that ever since. And since that time, I've kind of leaned towards more of it being in spring. When it happens, some stuff happening through the summer, which leads to the peace deal in the fall, all right? And that's just kind of how I've leaned towards it. You guys know I've been at this for a while. And, man... It hasn't been easy, that's for sure. Man, it's really been a tough journey. And I'm in 8 years of this right now. And it's been homeless at times, and it's been miserable at other times. And it really has just been the biggest test of my life. You guys know I was on my 40th job. And this week on Wednesday, I quit. I didn't make it to work. I've had a ton of stuff coming at me, one after another, and I broke that morning on the way to work, and I just couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't handle it anymore, right? And I've been thinking about it quite a bit, and I've seen this happen multiple times with other jobs and stuff like that. As I keep getting one more plate added on, one more plate added on, one more plate added on, right? Until finally, it's like it's too much. It's too much. You have to have some pride, and what I have to take at this stuff all the time, it's so degrading. I know that I have worth and value. I know that I have a purpose that's going to be legendary for God, and it's been so frustrating and very humbling to do all this. To do all this ordinary stuff, regular jobs and things like that, which I don't care about. It's to pay bills and stuff, so I can continue to do the other thing, which is where I talk, right? Talk to people, share the word of God, tell the truth, tell secrets to people, everything that I need to do, go to Targets and stuff, right? And, I hate that I have to keep one foot in the world like we all do, because I just want to put everything in heaven, but then, nothing's paying the bills and you're not eating, and so you have to kind of weigh that out, and I hate the weighing. I've gotten to the point where I'm so sick of it, I don't want to do it anymore. You're constantly subjecting yourself to, it's like a type of torture in a way, because, it's misery. I'm never doing anything that I really want to do. I belong fighting, and flying and doing something totally awesome, and this world, it doesn't have anything that's interesting. So I do these things, these petty things that are one job after another, and I try to change it up to keep interest, but I burn out from it because I have no heart in it. I don't want to. I don't have the desire to do that. It's not where my heart is. It never has been. And and to be forced into it, essentially, because that's what's happening. I'm being forced into it because I have to eat and stuff, right? I have to humble myself each time before I even start any job. I'm instantly taking, I'm being underpaid instantly. And I know it, and I'm getting screwed over. And the thing is like, I do it because I know that at the same time that once I do, it'll give me the chance to talk to people about God and stuff like that. And give me the money I need to eat and stuff like that. I'm never going to be doing thriving or anything like that, and it's hard because the rest of the world, when they are, I feel like it's very humbling, because you really look down on like you're worthless and stuff, and I know that I'm not, but they don't know that. They don't know any of that stuff, right? And it's tough because the very people you're trying to save and stuff like that are the ones that are holding you down, and it really sucks. but I've seen it happen before. I've seen the weight get added on, and I don't have any control over it as it keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse until finally I break. All right, just like in 2019, the middle of winter, the job's getting worse, the neighbor's getting worse, the neighbor situation's getting worse. They're going from walking through my yard to flipping their cigarettes in my yard, taking breaks in my yard. Like, what are you guys doing? Get out of my yard, right? For the lady next door. Till finally the tweaker that works there, closing the garage door up and down all night long. I can't get any sleep at the same time, right? Until finally I'm talking to my landlords, and they're like, we can't do anything about it because they don't actually live there. So the tweaker can be there causing all this ruckus because he's there for the caretaker. Their caretaker they can't touch, who's doing all kinds of drugs and stuff like that because she's a quadriplegic. I mean, it's just one thing after another that there's nothing that we can do anything about until finally the break happens, right? And I'm like, I just can't handle it anymore. It's too much, right? Well, I'm trying to hold on. And I find myself in a situation like, God, what do you want me to do? And he says, you know what to do. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, just let me make it a couple more weeks here, and I'll have my 2 weeks, and I'll give me some extra pay because I can just turn that in before I leave, and I'll have extra money and stuff. He's like, no, go now, March 1st. And I went and I talked to all my friends and everybody I knew again one more time, right? Like I had asked him previously, which is why he said, you know what to do. And I get done mid-May, around mid-14th or March 14th or whatever, 2020, and make it to my brother's house in Colorado. I hit everybody up again that I had talked to originally, which took like 3.5, 4 years or whatever, and I did it in a couple weeks this time, and I was fast. And boom, lockdown happens, and I wouldn't have been able to do that if I would have known the time or anything like that. It was just trusting in God. So what is my whole point on that whole rant that I just did, right? What is the point? The point is that I am in a situation that's exactly the same. I had no control over this. It was building up on all sides again till my stress level was just absolutely critical mass, and then it breaks. And I'm like, God, what do you want me to do here, And there's two things that can happen from this, all right? And this is positive, all right? Two things. One thing, he's moving from this job to another where I'm going to be talking to more people, all right, about him and stuff, all right, and witnessing. Or two, and this is the good one, time's up, all right? Time's up. And the reason why is because a couple weeks ago I said, God, if we are about to get out of here, do I have to work anymore? All right, I already told him that, and I already asked. And because he will never give me a lockdown situation where I know for 100% certainty, and there's always that 50-50 at least, it could go either way. So I don't know. But I'm sharing that with you guys right now. It was not an accident that this happened. It was destiny. I needed to get out of there, get out of that situation, and it was forced to happen, okay? So is it to go get another job where I talk to other people? Is there still some more time left and I need to do that? Or is time up and we're about to fly out of here? It's pointless. It's nonsense. The time for me working and having my foot in the world just enough to make the money to survive is done, and we're about to fly. I pray to God that's what it is, all right? And I'm sharing this with you guys for that reason. But time will tell. However, I want you guys to pay attention to this. Look at the timing of it. It just happened on Wednesday, okay? I have no control over this. I could not put up with it any longer. And the break happened again. Same thing, right? The timing of it is very, very suspicious, okay? It's right before the exact time that we're looking at here. And after what I had said, do I need to work anymore? All right. So I'm definitely keeping that in mind. But I also know how stuff is dragged out. All right. What's my point on that? My point is that I didn't think I was going to make it last year. When I went homeless, I was like seriously at my last straw. I was broken. All right. And that hope that God gave me when he told me it's most definitely this year kept me going. And each one of those steps, well, is it soon? Is it at the feast? Is it before the Feast of Trumpets? Is it on our Gregorian calendar? Is it April? Each one of those steps is hold on just a little bit longer, just a little bit longer. I don't know why he doesn't just say it. Of course, then I would probably give it a lockdown, so he can't do that. All right, but it's that hold on just a little bit longer thing that's keeping me kind of going along. And of course, here we are going right up to, Pentecost here, and it's like, hold on just a little bit longer. And I'm still kind of in that same situation because, I was really at my end. I was like totally broken. I'm spent. I've used everything I got inside me to do this, and I'm tired, right? And that's just how I've kind of looked at it, because it's what's keeping me going. I wish that he would, tell me the time and everything like that. And he could say anything he wants at any time. He could tell me, no, it's still time off and everything like that. But he's never said that. He's always said that soon, almost time. About a month ago, he talked to me in the spirit too. I haven't shared this with you guys. It was on a Monday. It was raining at work, and we didn't go in. And I was sitting at the house reading the Bible, and he spoke to me in the spirit again. And I just have not told anybody this, but except for my sister and my mom. All right. And he said, "Almost time, son." All right. That's the last time that he said anything on this. Okay. And I wasn't going to share that at all because it was kind of personal. But I did hear that. Okay, so I am sharing that with you guys. Okay, I don't know what that means. That's the only way that I've ever heard him say it before. Soon, almost time, and stuff like that, because it doesn't give a lockdown. But him saying most definitely this year. All right, that was different. That was very different, very powerful, and like I said, it was so incredible. I didn't just take it and run with it. I asked for a confirmation, and he gave it to me on the spot, and then double confirmed it up with my little brother. All right, and then every time I asked him if I should still share it afterwards, it was yes, share it every single time. Okay, so I did. And that's all I got. I've been honest with you guys the whole time. I've shown you the pictures. I've shown you the rock. Obviously, you guys listen to the story long enough. You know it hasn't changed. It's exactly the same story, all right? I don't lie. Obviously, I can't, because that would rob me of my very entire goal that I'm doing in the first place, and that would be absolutely stupid. I told him, I was like, this is intense for you to say something like this, This isn't anything anybody's been told. We're literally locking down a year, But that's what I was told, and that's what I was told to share. So I did, all right? And that's all I have on it right now, Because all I can do now is watch and wait and pray and look and see everything. And you guys know that it's falling apart, all of it, right? You can see the same thing as everybody else. The whole world is falling apart everywhere. From economic disaster, the prices of fuel and stuff, food shortages, everything shortage. And they're all doing it on purpose. It's all being manipulated and controlled and done on purpose, all right? From every single thing, from the stock market and everything else. They could inflate it, they could do all their stuff again, and they're not. They're not doing it. They're purposely crashing it. And the reason why is because they pulled the trigger, right? This is an agenda. And they have it planned out very well. And I find it interesting. I was thinking about it this morning, how it's going along so well with what they have between 20 and 2030. And we're looking at the whole, Israel becoming a nation, all this other stuff like that. And the crazy thing is, it looks like it's falling more in their window. So do they know some stuff that we don't know? Man, they know all kinds of stuff. They really do. They've got inside information on all kinds of things. So, it's just another way you can look at it, but we know that it's going to happen. It's soon, and they want to usher it in. It's not turning back. They've already pulled the trigger. Like I say, it's not going to fix itself and go back to normal. It'll never go back to normal. We're done. We're totally done. And so many people are in danger right now for this to be catching them off guard. But it really is, and we can see it. It's lining up. And it's moments away from happening. It literally could snap at any second right now. It's been more than able to snap at any second for quite some time, but it is ready to snap at any moment. And the return of the Lord, it's literally like an instant away. And like I say, you can't exactly feel it. You can know his presence. You can know that it's near. You can listen to him, what he's saying, on how close it is and stuff, right? And that's all real. That's all something that I can feel, but to actually feel the rapture as a tangible thing, like a living presence, that is something that I can't feel. He holds that hidden and out, because it'll change time when it does it. It doesn't exist yet. It only exists at the moment that he does it, right? So, like I say, it could be a day away, and I wouldn't be able to tell any difference. I just know that it's close, all right? Just like you guys do, all right? And I wanted to share this because I'm trying to give some encouragement here. I know you guys are watching too, and, I know that it gets frustrating. I know things are getting harder. You're watching more filth take over, and the world's just becoming more and more of a cesspool, right? And people are thinking, things are going to get better and stuff like that, and it's not. It's not. I went out of here so unbelievably bad, and I know so many of you guys do too, But we don't know when this exactly is going to take place. We just know that it's soon. And I'm telling you, the first thing that I'm looking at right now is between right now and Pentecost. It's a window that looks extremely, extremely promising. And because I know that I can't feel the rapture, the only thing I can do is just look and see what's going to take place, and we'll go from there. But I want to be flying high out of here as soon as possible, and I don't know what he's got planned just yet. All right, that's the latest that I've got going on with myself in my life, and I really, really don't want to go into another job. I'm so tired of it. I'm really so tired of starting over again. It takes everything, seriously. It takes everything out of me. It destroys me to start over again. And you're on the bottom, and you're working your way up, and you're proving yourself over and over and over and over again. And then it stops, and you got to do it again, and it's absolutely terrible. I'm so done with it. And unfortunately, that is my lot. While I'm here, there is no business or life or incredible home or easy living or life or family or anything like that. It's not given to me. It's just this next thing. So I can tell you that I'm craving to get out of here. With every fiber in my being, I'm craving to get out of here. I'm so sick of the pain and the under the thumb and the pressure that's constantly on me, on all my shoulders, and this bearing weight. It feels like the weight of the world. It's just constantly on me, constantly trying me, constantly testing me. Are you going to fold? Are you going to take the money? Are you going to take the easy way out? Are you going to turn from God? No, 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 no. And then it just keeps getting pressed harder and harder and harder, and I'm so sick of it. I want out. I want out more than you even can possibly understand. And I'm just tired. I'm tired in every single way. I'm exhausted in this whole thing. I really am. And like I say, I didn't even think I was going to make it through last year, and that's a miracle that I did. All right, and I have God to thank for that, And but it's not been easy. It hasn't really got any better, And I'm done. I wanna fly. I really want to fly. I want to fly out of here. I want to go home so bad. I feel like I've put in as much as I can possibly put into this, and there's not much left you can do, And I don't want to, it's hard because, I feel like I have to encourage people and stuff like that. And if they don't, they're going to fall away, because I've watched it happen so many times. Like if I'm not talking to them, if I'm not constantly on them or something like that, they start to drift away. It's like, good grief. And it's hard enough for me to hold on myself. I'm holding on with your life and trying to do the right things and walk as the test is getting harder and harder, let alone try to carry other people and stuff like that. It's exhausting. And at the same time, it's not even my potential on who I am or what I am. I've been pulled from that over to do this, which I call daycare duty and stuff like that, all right? But, oh man, that's all I know is that, we gotta get out of here soon because it's literally falling apart. It literally is in every single way. All right, you can see it in every single way. It's amazing. It has not happened yet, and they're pushing closer and they're cutting more deals. They're going after Israel. You know, there's dark, shady stuff going on everywhere. All right, and God's got a plan in all this. You know, He does. Right. He's got so much awesome stuff on the table. He's got stuff planned that he's got some things that I would like to even talk about that I've been shown and I'm not allowed to. You know, that's interesting. He's got plans for 90%, all right, in Israel, all right. That totally annihilates the 1/3 spoken of in Zechariah that he's going to bring through, unless there's some other stuff that he has planned, unless we're starting to get into the lost tribes and things like that. And he's watching. They're everywhere, all right? They're still good. He's going to clean house, okay? He's going to allow it to happen. And he's got some stuff planned, but he's going to make it all happen. It's going to be totally awesome. But honestly, it can't go on any further because we're literally at critical mass. It just cannot go on any further. It's impossible. All right, and there's so many different things that we can talk about. All right, that are already on the stage. Right, I can't even mention Barry Soetoro, his freaking name. You guys saw what happened. They took the video down. There's too much information on his backstory and stuff. Unbelievable. Since when can you not talk about the Antichrist? Right? Do they even believe in that stuff? Isn't it supposed to be fictitious? Give me a break. They take the channel and they give me a strike and take the video down talking about the Antichrist. Unbelievable. But everybody else seems to be able to talk about it. It's just blowing my mind. All right. We have every single player on the stage that are doing their stuff and getting ready for this to happen. And there's no more that can be done. I mean, it's right there. It's right there and ready to happen. So will it continue on another year? No, I don't think so. I don't even see how that's possible, especially when people that are even looking on the inside are paying attention to global market and everything like that. We're going into the biggest recession ever worldwide. Food prices are going to be shooting through the roof. The same thing that matches in the Bible, okay? Nobody's going to be able to survive that. You're not going to want to survive that. It's going to be a living hell. So the only thing that we can see is that this baby starts up this year. And if it starts up this year, that means the rapture's happening this year too, okay? All right, and that's very exciting. So hold on to that, okay? I don't know when it's going to happen. I just know it's very soon. And the first time that I'm looking at this is between now and Pentecost, and we'll watch and we'll see. All right, so hopefully that's encouraging a little bit. It's the information I got right now, right? And I'm watching this and paying attention to it. I am very frustrated. It's been tough. I'm ready to get out of here, all right? I don't want it to continue on any longer. I know how you feel for those that are struggling. I know the difficulty. I know you feel alone. I know that you feel like you can't talk to anybody. You are isolated. Yeah, it's all true. It's all really true. You're not just feeling that. It's actually happening. You're totally isolated. You're alone. Nobody wants to listen. I totally get it. You know, it's very difficult, and we got to hold on just a little bit longer. But it's part of the refinement process that we have to go through. And remember, you can think anything you want in the world, all right, about how great you're going to do and all the selfless things you're going to do, but it doesn't get written down until you turn it into action. When the action takes place, that is what's written down in the books. That's what goes into time. That's what is giving you your rewards. So thinking about it doesn't do anything. It's the action, and action only takes place by being put into the trial when you're seeing what you're going to do and you physically make that movement to make it happen in the course of honor and stepping in the right path. So while you're going through this, all right, and it's absolutely brutal, if you have not given up on God, you're still leaning on him, you're doing the right thing, all right, you're passing the test, and that's being written down. So hang in there and don't give up, all right, keep pushing, and hopefully I'll be seeing you guys in the air real soon. God bless, hang in there, don't give up, and no kishin is someone unleashing, all right? All right, talk to you later, bye.